right, welcome back. Whoa. All right, welcome back to can you believe it? Episode 23 of Planet Film. Episode 23. As you can probably tell by the length of the video, it is going to be a shorter show today for you folks. And also, as you can see, it is pre-recorded. We are not coming to you live like we do normally, just because our my work schedule does not allow us to do the show live tomorrow night. And rather than move the date of the show again, we're just gonna upload the show at its normal time to kind of keep the consistency with that time slot. But we're just gonna bring you guys some quick news discussions. There's not a lot in the way of news in terms of number of stories that we're going to be covering, but they all kind of have big conversations. And then we are going to have a kind of bigger shooting the shit segment with no movie review this week. We are going to have, kind of a bigger conversation about what we think the future of theatrical releases are going to look like next year. With the coronavirus seemingly ramping up in most of the country and most of the world again, we could find ourselves in a very similar situation as we were just a few months ago with most of the things shut down. So we'll be talking about all that after we go ahead and break down these news topics. So with that, let's go ahead and jump right into the start of the show. We always like to talk about, what we've been doing. It's been pretty busy and hectic for both of us with our work schedules and stuff. So how have you been? What's new with you, TJ? What's cooking?
Nothing too much. I finished actually I can give like a quick Miles Morales review. I finished it. PS5 came out last week. No, 2 weeks ago? Last week.
Last week. 10 days ago.
I think I finished it. Yeah, I finished it like last week. Good game. Basically kind of same as what you can expect or what you got from the original Spider-Man 2018. I do like the fact that it's not the same like Spider-Man. Like they could easily like take all the movesets from 2018 and just give them to Miles in this new game. But it's not like that at all. A lot of things are different gadgets, less gadgets, but again, it's like a smaller game. But one of the things that I like the most is the swinging animations. So like when Peter swings, it's like you get like certain animations, but when Miles swings, they're more flamboyant in a way where like it's just kind of cool.
Smooth,
like he'll
right?
like he'll swing like backwards at times, or he'll swing like upside down or like stuff like that, which I think is cool. And there's something actually I didn't know until I saw it on Twitter, because you know how like in 2018 you can do like the tricks in the air.
Yeah.
Well, like in this one, I guess apparently if you like just dive off a building and you hold like certain buttons, like he'll like either like face back and just like text on his phone, or he'll like there's another one, or like maybe he'll just like do a side pose or something and he'll just hold that, which I thought was cool, kind of reminiscent from Spider-Verse.
Yeah.
And there's been a lot of cool edits too that people have done, like mimicking Spider-Verse.
Oh yeah. And the photo mode. I saw the photo mode is crazy in the game.
Yeah. When he like jumps off the side of the building to the "What's Up Danger" song, like somebody mimicked that in the game. And then of course there's a tribute to Chadwick. They named a street after him, and then there's like a little like message at the end of the game, which I thought was cool. But I thought the story was solid. I actually didn't see it coming. Actually, I was playing in front of Danielle, and Danielle kind of like called like who the villain was. She's like, "Oh, I know who that is." Like, which I thought was kind of funny.
Very interesting.
And then there's like there's a tease at the end of the credits to the next Spider-Man game. So it's basically similar. Do you remember the tease at the end of the first one?
Yeah, with the two of them.
Yeah, it's the same thing. It's just like it kind of like extends on that scene basically. So that actually really hyped me up for the next game.
Like it's the actual same scene or just a similar?
It's not. It's similar. It's a similar thing.
Oh, okay. I thought
with
you meant
the same
like,
characters.
Yeah, I thought you were saying like this game was like this Miles Morales game was set before that scene in the first game.
Oh no.
Oh, okay. That makes more sense.
And again, they do like a really good job with like the world building, in my opinion.
Mm.
And the end of the game is it's pretty sad. Like I didn't
Not.
expect it to be like it's kind of like a decision where it's like, wow, I didn't expect it to go there, and it did.
Mm-hmm.
Which kind of shows that Insomniac as a studio is not afraid to, go these different routes. Like I feel like we see it at the end of the 2018 game.
Mm-hmm.
Spoiler: when they kill off Aunt May,
Mm-hmm.
and he
Yeah.
reveals himself to her, and so. But yeah, that's basically my quick review. I would probably give it like 8.5 out of 10. And on PS5 it runs really smoothly.
Yeah.
It looks great. I played it in performance mode, but apparently fidelity is like it's not running as better, but it's like more beautiful. But I didn't try that because I've heard it's like you can notice the difference between performance and fidelity. So I was like, I'm not even gonna try it. But
Yeah.
yeah, I'm not sure if I'm gonna like 100% it, but yeah, that's about it for me. What about you?
Nice. I've just been, making, having working a lot.
Yeah.
A lot of stuff going on with work right now. Not sure. A lot of stuff with the COVID in the county, and the county with the COVID, and the zones, and the colors,
Yeah.
and the colors.
Do you
with
know
the
what you're
COVID.
doing for on Thursday? Are you staying there at your apartment?
Here? Or
Yeah.
you mean for Thanksgiving?
Yeah.
I'm working.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, I didn't know that.
Yep.
What do you guys open?
I think the first show is at 1.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'm
And then
interested to see if
and then the last
you're
show
gonna
is at
get
like
a.
8:30.
Yeah, I'm interested. Do you think we're gonna get a red zone designation before then, or no? Maybe not.
They said that Cuomo would make an announcement on Wednesday for
Wednesday.
the changing
Gotcha.
of the designation. Um, yeah, whether that designation change, he's going to say it goes into effect tomorrow, meaning we'll be closed on Thanksgiving. I doubt it. Even if we're closed on Thanksgiving, my shift I'll probably still have to go in for my shift to
Yeah.
call off. Although there is another manager in there before me, so I might not have to go in if the
Oh.
morning manager can handle it.
Yeah.
But I usually he's been changing things and saying they're effective Friday. So my guess is that Thursday we will still be open, and then
Yeah.
Friday will close.
Friday would be yeah.
So still lose out on Thanksgiving, but I mean my guess is that Friday will be closed. But either way, we're just gotta wait and see what happens with it. But yeah, yep. And then just getting starting to get Christmas shopping underway.
Oh yeah.
Ordering stuff. Working on a big surprise for my roommates and for the apartment in general. Which should be cool. She doesn't watch the show, so she might be able to hear me right now. But
Hint?
huh?
You got a hint? Any hints for us?
Oh, I can't do it. I can't give a hint.
Okay.
It's too much. Because then this will be the one show that she does watch.
Oh yeah, exactly.
But yeah, so working on a lot of stuff, and then just buying regular presents in general for everybody, getting the list together, figuring out how much everything is going to be. So one good thing about getting promoted to the manager at the theater is I could definitely afford a nice Christmas at least.
Yeah.
But yeah, so with that, let's go ahead and jump right in. So one thing we always like to start off with before we start with the news is talk about our social media, which we've been trying to build up. As you guys know, we want to make sure that you guys are following us on Twitter, which is at Planet Film Pod, and Instagram is at Planet_Film Pod. So same thing, just Instagram has the underscore. And there we post, we post when things are upcoming. We'll be posting, when this video goes live. And then we also, post breaking news stuff, updates for the channel and the network as a whole, updates for us, anything really. But yeah, and if I find myself unemployed in the near future, you can bet your bottom dollar that there will be a lot more posts coming and a lot more often, because I will need something to do with my life. All right. So let's go ahead and start off here with our first topic. Now, guys, I know this is not a show called Planet Hero, but Hollywood has shed a light again. Big superhero news week. Sorry to do it to you guys. TJ before we started. He said, "Do we have any news stories that aren't MCU or DCU related?" And I was like, "I tried, man. I really tried." And then I said, "The one is the story about the Ryan Reynolds movie casts Mark Ruffalo, and all the headlines are." MCU stars Mark Ruffalo and Ryan Reynolds teaming up for a movie. Like, so it's like even that we couldn't get away from the MCU. But speaking of Ryan Reynolds with the MCU, you might be asking yourself, well, if that's what the headline says, how does that make sense? Ryan Reynolds isn't in the MCU. Well, now he is. Well, we kind of figured he would be eventually. It was just a matter of figuring out how he fit back into the puzzle, I would say, because as we know, as clearly has been stated, this is going to be one of those things where we know this is going to be the same character brought to the MCU somehow, some way. They'll be able to do it, but definitely. And now we know that for absolute certain. So first, a couple of days ago, earlier in the week, or I should say earlier last week, we got news that Deadpool 3 was getting traction and that it was going to start pre-production very, very soon with the Bob's Burgers writers taking the writing helms. Also having Ryan Reynolds bumped up to a executive producer for the project. Obviously, this project, with this announcement, confirmed the project is happening at Marvel Studios. And then also, we have here, let me pull up the article here. This is just on Collider.com. It's coming from Adam Chitwood. So basically it says Deadpool 3 is likely to be R-rated, marking an MCU first. So yeah, we basically got some confirmation that, currently the plans are definitely to keep the film rated R, that this is going to be the first step for the MCU into R-rated territory. I don't think there's a better project to take that first step with than Deadpool 3. It's a proven quantity. You probably wouldn't want to take the risk by saying, all right, Guardians 3 is going to be R-rated.
Yeah.
But if you already have a franchise that's made over $1 billion with Deadpool, $1 billion plus, I should say. $1 billion is just a very low rounding. Why mess that up? There's a built-in audience that will go see the R-rated films in this franchise. So definitely keep that going. And also we have some speculation. I didn't make it its own news topic because it is right now just speculation. But there is speculation that Deadpool 3 will not be Ryan Reynolds' first appearance in the MCU as Deadpool. So that's a lot to unpack there, a couple different pieces. What are your thoughts on this, TJ? Are you excited for Deadpool? I mean, I'm sure you're excited for Deadpool 3, but what are your thoughts on it? What are your thoughts on it being rated R, remaining in the MCU, and the potential that we might see, the Merc with the mouth a little bit sooner even than this film?
I'm excited for that. I would have to guess that they're going to. I mean, obviously, like in this movie, they'll joke about like the whole like, oh, I used to be in this universe, and now I'm in this one. Like, huh? They'll probably make like 5-10 jokes about that in the entire movie. But I think I wouldn't be surprised if Deadpool like makes an appearance with like another few other mutants. Like, now, does this mean would they ever carry over the characters from his movie as well? Like, does that include all of it? Like, not Josh Brolin probably, but like, what is it? Negasonic Teenage Warhead? Is that her name?
And like that version of Colossus and stuff like that.
Yeah, like, do they carry over as well, or just him? Do you think?
I'm not sure. It might depend.
But yeah, I know I don't watch Bob's Burgers, but Danielle likes this show. So I'm excited to see like what they can do with it. I don't know if this is like their first time writing like a film or like a movie script. So like, but I'm sure they like, obviously they have great comedic chops, because I feel like Bob's Burgers has been on for obviously not as long as something like The Simpsons, but it still has legs, where I feel like it's it's getting to 8th, 9th season or something like that. So I'm excited to see that. I've heard like, I don't know who wrote the two other ones, but I've heard like people are wondering like why he didn't return. I think it was a guy.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know his name specifically. But like, why didn't he come back?
Yeah.
They didn't say anything about that. Maybe it was just like they have differences or creative differences or something like that. But I'm happy that this would be like the first like R-rated film because I feel like it has to be. Like, you can't move this back to PG-13 after
Yeah.
it's been R
Yeah.
twice. Um, and he's the exact character that I would expect to, you know, do something that, is not suitable for people the under age of 17 if you're looking at the MPAA ratings.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'm excited. I mean, we'll probably won't get this movie for like 4 years, maybe more.
Yeah.
Like, it's going to be a long time, but as far as, being the first R-rated movie in the MCU, I'm very excited, especially with Deadpool.
Perfect. Yeah. Well, all right, my last question on this would be how do you want to see the character handled not in Deadpool 3? How do you want to see
Oh,
him
and like a
handled
different,
in
yeah.
like if the rumors are true and like maybe he pops up in probably the most likely candidate would be Doctor Strange 2. You know what I mean? If he pops up in
Ooh,
Multiverse of Madness,
yeah.
like or and then after Deadpool 3, if Deadpool is in an Avengers movie, what do you think how do you want to see him handled um in that? Like, because obviously those films won't be rated R. Do you want to see him still
Hmm.
swearing but they kind of bleep it, or do you want to just see kind of like what they do in the Avengers comics when he's in, or X-Men comics when he's in them? You know what I mean? They just kind of tone him down a little bit.
Hmm.
They just kind of just have him be not so out there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He has a couple moments of outbursts basically, but he's more just like part of the crew. Like, for example, the best thing that I would say is like if we had Deadpool in the MCU the whole time, if he was in the portals scene of Endgame,
Oh, that'd be so
he
funny.
wouldn't be like, what the fuck is this guy? He'd probably just be there like ready to fight just like the rest of
Yeah.
them. You know what I mean? Like I
Yeah.
don't think that it would, like, people out there that are like, oh, Deadpool being in there, he would break the realism of the movies or whatever. There's flying Pegasuses in
Real
like there,
realism.
yeah, like there's a man who's 65 feet tall. I
Yeah,
don't.
I would see like you said, like Doctor Strange too, like just like a quick like like we discussed on Planet
Mhm.
Council, like very quickly,
Yeah.
about how like I was like, oh yeah, Mando's in it for 2 seconds when they're really going portal to portal and they just
Yeah.
pass through like in like 2 seconds. Like, I would love something like that.
Hmm.
Maybe not 2 seconds, a little longer than that, where Doctor Strange maybe like hops
Hmm.
into whatever universe world
And
he's
then
living in.
maybe he leaves the portal open 1 second too long.
There you go.
And
Yeah. And then you
whale.
just see him like,
Yeah.
and
Oh,
he's like, who's this guy? Like,
you know,
something like that.
you know what I just thought of?
Yeah.
We've seen in Endgame that Doctor Strange's portals can can sever limbs. You know what
I
I
was
mean?
just thinking that. Yeah.
What if they open a portal on him and they cut him in half and like people are like, "Oh, well, I guess he died," but then
Yeah.
his like top half lands in the MCU universe
That'd be
and then
funny.
he grows back. And
Yeah.
that's
That would
how
be
he gets,
very
and
funny.
like his
I
legs are
want
still in the Fox universe.
the other person I would like to transfer. I don't know if they would. I would love Zazie Beetz to also transfer over to MCU. I don't think
As
that
Domino.
character will.
Hmm.
Yeah, I don't think the character will, but I think that'd be really cool.
Yeah.
But like I said earlier, like Mega Sonic Teenage Warhead, that's her name, right?
Yeah.
Okay, her and then Colossus. I think that'd be cool if they all transferred over.
Yeah.
Like maybe like he's just, I don't know. He's like sitting on his couch and like I said, like a portal just opens and he's like, Doctor Strange's like, this isn't where I'm supposed to be, and then he like leaves and then
Hmm.
Deadpool like looks through and he begins to go through and then he gets like his arm cut off or something like that.
Oh my god, that'd
Like you
be so
said,
funny.
that'd be
Yeah.
funny.
All right. Well, that is it for the Deadpool talk there. Now let's go ahead and move on to another MCU story, which here is brought to us as an exclusive from THR, from the Hollywood Reporter. This was reported on the 20th, actually November 20th, 2020 at 2:20. And this is from Boris Kitt over at THR, which is that Marvel's Black Panther sequel shoot is to begin in July. So it's to start filming in July of 2021. And I'm sorry if I'm going to butcher this name. Tenek Haruta, the star of Narcos Mexico on Netflix, is joining the cast of the film, and he is widely expected to play the villain of the second film. It's also being widely reported that Shuri, Letitia Wright's character, is going to have a much, much bigger presence and a much more prominent role in this film. Now, obviously, there's a lot that is going to have to happen with this movie, a lot of rewriting and stuff, because you think to yourself, well, how do you have Black Panther 2 without Black Panther? And that is something, that we're going to have to figure out when the movie comes out. But with that, what is your take on this news? Are you excited that we are getting Black Panther 2 sooner rather than later? Maybe potentially even sticking with its original release date, which was supposed to be March of 2022. If they get this thing started midway through 2021, they could potentially have it ready still for that original release date. Maybe they'd delay it a couple months, but
I'd say I think they'd probably delay it.
Yeah.
Because COVID,
Well, that's true too. Yeah. That's assuming that everything starts getting better right now.
Yeah. I'm excited. I'm surprised it's kind of. I thought it'd be like longer than that before they even started like production or anything like that. So I'm excited. I don't know anything about this actor. So I don't know what. I can't even begin to theorize what kind of role he'd be playing in this movie.
Yeah.
But I think I don't know if you said it, but from what I believe, and I feel like a lot of other people believe, is that Letitia Wright will take over the mantle of Black Panther, which I think would be cool. Obviously, they're kind of building her up as this Tony Stark character. I kind of feel like with same with Spider-Man though. They're kind of doing the same thing with him. And then I guess you kind of just decide which direction you want to go in. But yeah, I'm excited. I actually maybe he'd be the villain. I don't know what villain they're possibly thinking of for this movie, but I don't know. I don't know who he plays in Narcos Mexico. I never watched Narcos at all. Have you watched Narcos at all or no?
No, I haven't. I haven't seen any of Narcos Mexico either.
But, yeah, I'm curious though. I'm excited for this. Obviously, poor Chadwick's untimely passing. It sucked. And I think we talked about when did he pass? Last month?
Yeah, I think so.
It would be a disservice, I feel like, to recast that character as somebody that's not already in the franchise.
Yeah.
So I feel like giving Letitia Wright the mantle would probably be the best course of action.
Oh my gosh.
No, what?
Bro, he died such a long time ago.
No, he didn't. August
28th. Yeah.
Wow.
That is crazy.
Oh yeah, it's November. I thought it was October.
I know, same. I was like, oh my lord.
Jesus Christ.
It's slipping away, man. Time is slipping away. All right. Well, nevertheless, we are very excited for this. Excited to see where this project goes. Excited to. Sorry about that. Excited to know for sure that this character and this legacy, at least in this franchise, will definitely be going on. I'm sure that's what Chadwick would have wanted, and I'm sure that's what people are happy with. So yeah, we will definitely keep an eye out for that. Now our last MCU story for today, which is just a kind of quick, cool one. It kind of lends us some more insight into what kind of show we're going to be getting. It is a story about WandaVision, which is that Kevin Feige has come out and said, basically, that's what she said. Kevin Feige has come out and said that WandaVision will feature talking heads like you would have seen in both The Office as well as Modern Family, as well as any other mockumentary style thing, but obviously the most popular in The Office. So what are your thoughts on this? I think this is very, very cool. We definitely know that, this show we've known for a while is going to be kind of not making fun of, but playing with the idea of sitcoms and television shows.
Yeah,
With
some of
the
it had a
kind of
live
going
audience.
through. Yeah, some of it was recorded in front of a live studio audience, that kind of thing. What are your thoughts that now, just like being recorded in front of a live studio audience, just like being in black and white, another
Mhm.
sitcom trope that they are taking is from The Office, and that there will be talking heads in the show? What are your thoughts on that?
I'm just really excited for this. I think it's going to be like balls to the wall, like craziness. Especially if they're going down the House of M route where she kind of like loses her mind and all that stuff.
Hmm.
I'm very excited for this. Um, that's gonna be so weird to see like these MCU characters like talking
To the
like they
camera?
do in the office. They do that. Do they do it in like Parks and Rec? I've watched one
Yeah,
season
like
of that.
Parks and Rec, The Office, and like Modern Family are probably the three
Okay,
biggest
yeah. Modern
examples.
Family, where it's like they're talking like that's gonna be so weird.
Yeah.
It's just gonna be weird to see those characters in like that environment, especially like obviously if it wasn't enough with the whole sitcom like Dick Van Dyke
Hmm.
type layout like that,
Yeah.
where it's like black and white visions walking in, honey, I'm home from work, and it's just
Yeah.
like it's just gonna be so weird.
I love that. I just love that in the
Do you,
trailer where he's got his vision face, and then she's like, "Oh, we gotta like appearances matter or whatever," and he goes, and turns into Paul Bettany. His face just like yeah, I can just imagine the different takes of Paul Bettany having to go like on set. Oh my
like
lord.
I don't, oh, man, I'm excited to hear like, are we gonna get like studio like? I'm assuming we must get like studio like laugh, right?
Oh, we must. Yeah, it's gotta.
That'd be
Oh my
so
god, I
weird.
can't wait.
This is crazy. When does it come out again? January or February?
January 15th.
Ooh,
I know.
it's close.
It's
It's not that
close.
far away.
It's closer than it used to be. Let's
Yeah.
put it that way. Oh my lord.
Oh man, I'm excited.
Yeah.
What do you have any thoughts
Yeah, well, I mean,
about
obviously,
this?
for those who have listened to the show, know that The Office is one of my favorite shows of all time, if
Yeah.
not my favorite, probably. I am very, very excited. If I had to guess, though, I would say this is probably going to be more like the Modern Family version of the Talking Head, more than The Office. The
Mhm.
Office was much more the camera was a character.
Mm.
Modern
Oh yeah.
Family was like they just never explained the talking heads. You know what I mean? Like The Office, the documentary was a part of the story.
Yeah.
Modern Family was just the show would happen and then they would just cut to them talking to the camera.
Hmm.
So I think it's probably going to be more like that. Because I think that opens the window to them doing the talking heads in every decade, as opposed to like just doing it in like one of the later episodes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um,
They're gonna, you know what they might do? Maybe want to open a portal and they'll make the office canon. They'll open to it
and
a Jim talking head.
Kevin's chili will pour out pour out of the
And
portal.
it'll be a Jim Halper talking head. It'll be like, you're
Yeah.
Mr. Fantastic, and it'll be like,
Oh! No, she opens the portal and then Jim goes.
yeah,
He goes
yeah, exactly.
classic Jim face. He goes, what's going on with that? Oh.
Exactly.
Oh my lord. It's gonna be very interesting. All right, let's go ahead and head on to, believe it or not, our last story already. Like we said, it's gonna be a quick show today because it is pre-taped. So with that, our last story today is about Wonder Woman 1984. I should say our last story and our definite biggest story, which will lead us right into.
What?
1 second. Oh, sorry about that. Anyways, which will lead us right into our shooting the shit segment, talking about the cinematic landscape for next year. So that is that Wonder Woman 1984 is going to be doing a day and date release, both in theaters and on HBO Max on Christmas Day. So we are going to be getting Wonder Woman 1984 before we get WandaVision. Very, very crazy times we are living in. But what are your thoughts on this? This is coming in as a definite push from Warner Brothers to try and recoup some sort of box office on the movie, as well as trying to, get as many eyes on the movie as possible. Now it's only staying on HBO Max for 1 month, and then after that, if you want to watch it after that 1 month, you're gonna have to go out to a theater to buy a ticket. But what are your thoughts on this?
I am very excited to hear the 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 consumer base that this brings. Like, if you didn't have HBO Max already, are you subscribing for maybe it's a free trial period? That's all you're doing. I'm assuming they have a free trial period. I don't know. Are you subscribing just to see this movie? Or are you gonna you could get people's free trial period for this, and then they're gonna come back for Snyder Cut.
Yeah.
I'm very excited. I feel like we all kind of knew that where this was. I feel like we knew this was heading this way. I feel like everybody though was saying, like, especially Patty Jenkins is like, nope, there's no talk of this. Like, it's not going straight to streaming or anything like that. And obviously she's not the one who handles the money.
Gets to make that decision at the end of the day.
Exactly. But yeah, I'm excited. I gotta rewatch the first one because I've only seen it the one time when I think I saw it at the drive-in. But yeah, I'm excited. I'm just kind of excited to see where this takes that universe too. Because I feel like we've seen, how many trailers have we seen for this freaking thing?
Probably like 4 at this point.
Yeah.
I think.
And I'm interested to see how much it gets. Like, how many people are actually going out to theaters and seeing this? Like, what the box office will be.
Yeah.
But yeah, what about you? How do you feel about this streaming release / theater, and then a month it's gone?
I think it's like a lot of sites are calling it. I think it's a very unprecedented move for very unprecedented times. I think it's something that it's going to be very interesting because Warner Brothers can make that decision to release it on HBO Max and in theaters on the same day. The National Association of Theater Owners can also make the decision to not let them show it in theaters if they do that. Similar to what happened at the beginning of the pandemic with Trolls World Tour.
Yeah.
They said, DreamWorks said, well, we want to put this on PVOD the day that it comes out in theaters, and NATO said, no, we're not going to let you show the film in theaters if you put it online the same day. I was like, there's no way we can compete with that. So AMC, the AMC Theaters, the corporation, has said that they are on board with this decision.
Well, yeah, they need something.
But at the same time, AMC Theaters might be breaking with NATO saying that, because unless the National Association of Theater Owners approve it to be shown, approve that deal to go through, it's not up to AMC, really. I mean, because they're part of that. If they go against it, then they're making some big enemies, and they're making some really big plays.
Will this movie be what Tenet wasn't? Will it bring the people back to the theaters? I mean, I don't think it will.
Absolutely
I don't think any movie will do that until there's like a vaccine. But yeah, no, exactly. Like, I think I just answered my own question. Like,
yeah,
I'm assuming they're not putting this out to be like, we're gonna bring back the cinemas. Like, we're gonna revive them, Like,
no, they're just putting this out to just get it out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They just can't sit on it anymore. They need to release it.
Now I know that people are saying that people are like, this could be telling for Black Widow. Do you think that Black Widow will come out eventually on VOD or no?
I don't know. I think it's tough. I think there's a lot of time to see. Well, let's go ahead and let's just move right into shooting the shit, because this is basically what our shooting the shit topic is going to be to close out the show, which is, what do we think the 2021 landscape will look like for theaters? What do we think the release schedule will look like? So let's start with Black Widow, just because it's not the first title up. It's not till May, but it's definitely the biggest title coming up, because we haven't had an MCU release for so long. Gosh, think about that. If Black Widow comes out in May, that will be 21 months between MCU films. Because the last film that came out was Far From Home in July of 2019, right? Yikes.
Yeah.
Yeah, almost 2 years between MCU
That's
movies.
crazy.
Yeah. It's crazy that it's been that long.
Yeah, I
But
always forget that there was like that decently long break
yeah,
from
from Far
Far
From
From
Home.
Home.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
there was a designed break between Far From
Hmm.
Home and Black Widow. There was
Black
a
Widow.
designed
Yeah.
break. Yeah, that it was supposed to be like 9 months between those, but then Black Widow just kept getting pushed and got pushed almost an entire year. Um, so I I think we have a lot of time between now and May for Marvel to make a decision like that. Um, I think if things stay as they are right now, or where they're
Yeah.
on trend to go, which is things getting worse,
Hmm.
I think potentially you could see this on Disney Plus with the premiere access saying, all right, it's $50 for the premiere access for Black Widow.
50.
Now, for me, I think that
Would
is
you own it? Would you pay that to own it?
well. I would pay that for the premiere access because it's a clever thing that they did, which is listen, you can pay this, and technically you do own it as long as you
Hmm.
keep being subscribed to Disney Plus.
Fair, yeah.
Which on their part, it kind of is a little clever, not loophole, but just kind of
This
clever
is how we keep your
maneuvering.
subscription.
Yeah, exactly. Just kind of clever maneuvering because it's like, well,
Yeah.
yeah, just don't break your subscription,
Yeah.
and you
I
never
mean,
will lose the movie.
as long as they don't pull something as like they did with Mulan, where it's like, oh, we're gonna release it on, 4K, like literally a month or two later,
Yeah,
and it's cheaper. Is it cheaper?
I think so. Yeah, like for me, I would want to see if they release Black Widow on Premiere Access at like $50.
Yeah.
Do not do a Blu-ray. Do not do a digital release of it for like 6 months. You can't. I mean, because that's just not fair to the people that paid the
Yeah.
premium to watch it. It's called Premiere Access or Premiere or Premium Access, whatever the hell it's called. It's called that for a reason. It's called that because you want to see the movie and you're willing to pay the higher price for it.
Hmm.
That should be rewarded with getting it before others do. You know what I mean? And
Hmm.
you can add it maybe. You know what I mean? To Disney Plus like a little bit then after the DVD or the Blu-ray releases and stuff.
Yeah.
But give it the time. Let those people that paid that high premium enjoy it for a little bit. You know what I mean? Give them the satisfaction of it, then go back in to make more money. You know what I mean? Because then it's like you're just kind of screwing over the people that paid that much money to you to see your product. Because really, all they want to do is they want to support you and your
Yeah.
business and stuff, and it's just kind of unfair.
What what's the release date again for it
Right
currently?
now, I think it's March, or I think it's May 21st, 2021, something like that. Hang on,
See, now I feel
May.
like that honestly could be pushed again.
Yeah, I think it's May
Like I would
twenty
not be
first, 2021.
surprised if it ends up being in like November or something like that.
Yeah, push it to
Just
fall.
because again with this whole vaccine talk, like
Hmm.
they've said like there won't be like no not everybody will be able to get vaccinated by early next year. Like it'll be
Hmm.
like, into late next year
Yeah, like they're
that,
talking about, the vaccine will be available to the general public in April, and then if
okay.
that's just when it's available, then you
Yeah.
have to actually give it to everybody,
Yeah.
which is gonna take a long time, a very long time.
And you'll
Like
still have like, hella people would be like, well, I'm not taking it, like,
exactly, yeah. And then at that
anti-vaxxers and
point, it's
stuff like
never
that.
gonna be safe.
Yeah, it's
Uh,
like how do you? I mean, we're getting a kind of a completely different discussion, but like, how do you get everybody to take this vaccine when you have so many different mindsets on it? And it's not like a vaccine
mhm.
is it's illegal. Like if you like a flu vaccine, like you don't have to get it.
Yeah.
Like do you have to like, or is it like you get like a little slip of paper before you go any business or something like that, and it's like, here's this slip of paper. I had the vaccine. Like I
Hmm.
can enter this place. Like is that something like theaters do?
Yeah.
Like they, the government is
Potentially.
like, if you get a vaccine, you get this little slip, and then all the businesses you go to, you have to show it to them.
Hmm.
Like I don't know, like what kind of that's probably like, I'm sure there'd be people who'd be like, that's a terrible mindset,
Yeah.
but to get things back to normal, I feel like you have to have everybody get the vaccine.
Hmm.
Unless
I
I'm
know there's
incorrect on
already
that.
what's it called? What is it? Ticketmaster? I think it's Ticketmaster
Yeah.
that
Oh, I did see. I think I
you
heard about
have
this.
to submit a validated negative COVID test in order to
Yeah.
buy a ticket for
Hmm.
anything going forward.
See, but that's like you could submit a negative COVID test and you get it the next day.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's
Yeah, so
like
even then it's
it's
too
like
risky.
you're kind of relying on the honor system. Is that
Mhm.
you submitted this, you have a negative test, you're buying your ticket, but then you're not going anywhere until
Yeah,
the
like
concert.
you're gonna quarantine until the concert is
Yeah.
over.
And even
It's
even before the concert, you have to leave your house to go to the concert.
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Um,
Oh my lord.
but yeah, again, we're kind of going on a tangent here, but
Mhm. Yeah, but
uh,
I mean, I think it's all still wrapped in, what do you think it's going to look like? I just think honestly, I think for me, I think I'll you know, say probably as like my closing remarks on it as just for this particular question, what do we think 2021 will look like for theaters? I think the answer is pretty similar to how they look now.
I
Pretty
think it'll be
up
better,
I think
but
it's
not
gonna
still
be a
not great.
I think it's gonna be still a pretty desperate situation.
Yeah,
I
like they'll
think
still need to get money from somewhere.
oh yeah, I think they definitely need to. I mean, there are theaters right now that with some of the restrictions and stuff in place around the country, there are theaters right now that need um or that are literally just throwing away money being open. You know what I mean? In different states all throughout the country and in different parts of the entire world. Because either the restrictions are so tough that they're not able to be profitable, or they are not profitable because the base of people in that area don't want to risk
Hmm.
going to the cinemas,
Yeah,
or they're not being profitable because there's no big tentpole films to release. So I think it's just going to be very very tough to get the
I mean,
capital they
there's still
need.
a chance you could be wearing an Amazon uniform in a year. They wouldn't even
That's
have to
true.
change the name. It could be Amazon multi cinema, not American multi cinema.
Exactly.
Oh my
The
god.
United States of Amazon.
Exactly. Oh my lord. That'd be. I would not be surprised if they buy
USA.
one of these chains.
Yeah.
Especially one of them is really desperate. Obviously, like you said, kind of going into next year. I
Mhm.
mean, they were desperate, 3 months ago. I can't imagine how desperate they are now. Even
Yeah.
when they were closed, they're still losing. Like they're still paying some sort of expense to keep the buildings.
Absolutely.
I
Yeah.
know AMC was like, we're not paying rent, but it's like,
Hmm.
okay, well, you know,
You can
I feel
only
like you
keep
kind of
that up
have
for so
like
long. Yeah.
exactly. And like you said, even being open now, it's like they're not making that much money,
Yeah.
if any.
Hmm. Exactly.
But yeah, it's brutal.
Hmm.
This is I
It's dire out
if you
there.
would have told me 2 years ago that we would be in a pandemic and everything would be closed, and I've never seen like 28 Days Later or Contagion or
Yeah.
what's it? Is it Contagion or
Yeah.
Quarantine or what's that one
Contagion.
movie called? Never seen
Contagion.
that. But if you told me you looked at watch this movie and be like, that's what it'll be like, I'd be like, I don't believe you.
Yeah, I don't believe you at all. Um, yeah, but I just think it's just gonna be crazy. I mean, only time will tell in reality. But but that's what we want to know is for the final order for the show today. Um, we want to know, what do you think? What do you think 2021 will look like for theaters? We're gonna put a poll up on the Twitter account. That'll go up tomorrow, probably around like 9 p.m. I would
Hmm.
guess, right at, or maybe 9:30. Or I'm sorry, not 9:30. 8:30, around when, the show will be wrapping up, when it airs tomorrow, or when it airs, I'm sorry, today when you're watching this. That is Tuesday. So go to our Twitter account now because a poll should be live. We want to know from you guys, what do you think 2021 will look like for theaters, for
Hmm.
the movie theater industry? Do you think it'll be the same as it is now? Do you think it'll be, on the bounce back, on the mend, or do you think we don't have a theater landscape next year? We definitely want to know what you guys think. And again, we want you guys, follow us on Twitter at Planet Film Pod. That's where the poll will be. We might throw up a poll too on our Instagram story. We try to get on the Instagram story stuff. And that Instagram is at Planet_Film Pod. A little bit different, just with the underscore there for Instagram. But with that, TJ, did you have anything else you wanted to say on this, or anything else you wanted to say before we give our personal Twitters and then sign off?
Quickly, I just want to say, like, if you're
Yep.
listening to this on YouTube tomorrow at this time, Planet Console should be live on podcast services. So if you don't want to watch the YouTube video or listen to it that
Mm-hmm.
way, you can listen to it on the services. Usually, it's better audio quality.
Mm-hmm.
I'm actually in the middle of editing it, so it should be done by tonight at midnight,
There we
or
go.
it be up by midnight, and then obviously this show should be up by Wednesday midnight,
Mm-hmm.
going into Thanksgiving.
Yeah. All right. Perfect. Well,
Actually, honestly, sorry, real quick, it might be faster because this is only like 47 minutes.
yeah, you're right. Yeah, it's pretty quick. It's been a pretty quick
Yeah.
show today. But yeah, with that, with the holidays, hopefully, we will have more time next week. If our designation changes with what it's like for my work, you know what I mean, and we have a lot more nights available at the same time together. We will probably be getting much more on track for the shows going forward, but only time will tell, just like with everything with COVID here. But with that, as always, as we sign off, my personal Twitter is at Paste Eating Yak. Go ahead and follow me on there. As you guys know, my name is Sean Monk, and my co-host, as always, is
TJ Cornwell, and you could find me on Twitter at TJ_Cornwell.
There you go, guys. And like we say every single week with everything that's going on now, especially with the numbers ramping up again, stay safe out there. Remember, be excellent to each other and party on, dudes. We'll catch you in the next one.